In today's episode of the Film Breakdown Show, we talk about some positives from the run game in Atlanta and how we can take that to Hollywood to beat the Chargers. We talk Chargers defense, the tendencies they have, and how we can take advantage of some of those holes in the defense and steal some of that juice. Justin Herbert's been playing at an MVP caliber level, but we have some things we can slow him down. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulson, and we might be joined by another guy, Jason Johnson, producer Jason, just a guy Jason, whatever we're going to call him. And we are in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Now let's get into the film. So this first clip is just one that tickled me a little bit. It got me excited because I love when a plan comes together. You know what I'm saying? So this is Wanda. So Wanda is outside zone away from the tight end. So the tight end's over here. We're going to run the ball this way, away from the tight end. So all this looks like is we're going to base block here. We're going to double up to the second level, cut off on the backside. That's it. It's a simple run. Everybody runs it. But I love when there's a little bit of seasoning on it because it hides something simple and makes it look very complex. So check it out. We're going to bring motion across here. See how everybody reacts. Okay, we got to move over. Okay, panic, panic, panic. Let's get over here, right? We're going to come across. And now, what are we getting? This, to me, looks like a keeper. And so what I mean by that is watch the receivers. He's going to run across back like he's running a flat. It's going to look like he's running over the top, and he's going to run something like this. And this would play into like a boot type of action. So it's a play that they run. It's a play that everyone runs. Are these play action boots off of a Wanda action, right? So looks like the receivers are doing that, but it's actually a run. So look at what happens on the backside of this play here. With these guys specifically, they feel this boot action. So watch them stop their feet. When Debo comes back, good. This is good because now we get good angles to the second level. And our guy Moore is going to run across and block this guy. That is pretty creative because usually on the interior, these guys on the backside have to work some type of combination up to this guy. And I don't know if you can tell, I would say this is borderline out leverage. And what I mean by out leverage is you see how this guy's stacked over the double team. That usually means that it's going to be very hard to catch him because he's going to run and we're going to get mired down in here and he's going to probably make the tackle. So the action's holding this backside player. Very cool. It allows everyone to get up to the second level. Look at the receiver's block. Look at 83 on the corner here. 83 on the corner. Great job. He's feeling pass. And look at the amount of grass they're able to create at the second level. Look at this guy right here. Where the heck is he running? He thinks it's keeper. He's getting out of the picture. It's a really well-designed action, marrying pass and run to get our guy into space. And we got to talk about the big nasties up front. This is a really hard block by our guy, Chris Paul here. Reaching a 3 technique from a guard is tough on outside zone. Look at him. I'm going to get my hat across. Boom. I'm going to settle it down, lock it in. Great job. Great job by Laramie driving off the ball, creating this window. And look at our guy, Biotish, man. The squirrely guy himself. He's right here. He's going to fight across this thing. Look at this. Talk about being out leveraged. He's got to work this combination to this guy, right? So great job getting through. Could probably punch that outside shoulder a little bit more. Good job, Wiley, being a little savvy there, getting a little, what they call like a kind of a pull through there block. And then we're in space. And that is a beautiful executed Wanda run with a little bit of window dressing to give it an extra little bit of something, man. Create that extra bit of space, put the defense in more conflict. I just love it, man. I just love when something like that comes on.
I love it too, Logan. Thank you for breaking that down for me because, quite honestly, when I watched this play live, being just a guy at Jag, which I do get called. There was someone in the comments like, no one calls you that. Been calling me that for 2 years. All right, what happens here when I watch it live is it looks like Chris Paul gets beat, looks like Biotish gets beat, or like it looks like the line gets beat, and it's like, oh man, what a play by Bill there. Yeah. But actually, what they're doing is they're playing pretty good leverage. Like it's a hard block, like you said, by Paul. Thanks for explaining that to me. But then he turns around and gets in good position, knowing where that hole has to be.
And great job by Bill. Like, you got to give Bill his flowers too, because he's taking a great angle. He's taking the outside leg of the tackle here. And watch how he presses, and then is able to put his foot down and get vertical. Like everyone says, oh, that looks like a muddy run. That's an NFL run right there, boys and girls. Like this is what it looks like. This is the space we have to attack, and it's going to close in a hurry. Bill's done a great job all year getting skinny and finding that grass that is cultivated on the second level because of the route concept. Really, really nice job. Love it. And love the finish there too. So that is just something that I think is really cool that came out of last week's game offensively. Now, let's talk about this 2-point conversion because I think this is so fun. They ran a ton of this last year. So what we're going to get is we're going to get what I would call like a zone read look. The back's going to attack here. The quarterback's going to read this end man, a line of scrimmage, and then he can keep the football and attack the perimeter, right? So we've all seen zone read a million times in college football, but there's a little bit of spice, a little bit of twist on this. And it's this beautiful little kind of late dump here. And so what we're trying to do is in these situations, in these short yardage situations, goal line situations, you're probably going to get man coverage. These guys are going to bracket the back, right? So how do we, because that allows them to play a better run surface, more guys allocated to the run. So how do we manipulate man coverage in this situation? We show them run. We're really patient at the quarterback spot. Look at these guys' eyes. They go from their work, which is the tight end, to now the quarterback. They're all looking at the quarterback. They think, oh, I know this. This is zone read. Let's attack downhill. Let's be aggressive. Oh, no, wait. We've lost our coverage on Zach Ertz, and we found this opportunity in the end zone for an easy 2-point conversion. Great job by Mariota. And I think it's a really smart understanding of what you're going to get in these 2-point conversion plays, these short yardage moments with man coverage. And it's a really well-designed play to manipulate the eyes of the defender. Because right now we're disciplined. We're on our work. But the second we start showing this run action and he boots out, he's got to fit this. That guy's got to make that tackle. So great job by Cliff designing this. They ran it a ton last year. It's an oldie but a goodie, and I love seeing a well-executed man-beating concept that just beats defenses based on rules. What's up, Jason?
I was just about to ask that. When you said they ran it a ton last year,
Yeah.
Is this, not taking anything away from Marcus Mariota?
Yeah.
Is this a little bit of the Jaden Daniels effect, even though he's not in the game? Because we ran this so much with Jaden, and he would just keep the ball and run, that they're like, oh, we've seen this. Quarterback's running. We're breaking our assignment.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to defend the zone read, and that's one of the things that's really beneficial about having Marcus Mariota as your backup, right? He's similar in terms of skill set. His ball handling is almost better than Jaden Daniels in terms of the zone read. So we're doing this. This is the guy that's in conflict. If he pinches down, which he does here, right? It's a pull read for the quarterback. So now who's got to make the tackle? It's really this guy. And this is where playing man-to-man coverage in these situations, I think, is challenging. It's really good if they run the football because you can be aggressive to your gap, you can be aggressive downhill. But if it's a pass, now my eye discipline is really challenged, and you see that here, right? I got to make that tackle. Like, I'm the guy that's got to make it, but I also have to cover Zach Ertz. And this is where it's a really nice play design because they can't be right if we execute it the way we can execute it. So I just love both those plays because I love plays that take something simple, make them look complicated, and that Wanda with that keeper action attached to it. And I love these little these plays that make it impossible for a defense. You know, like everyone talks about the tush push. This is the tush push, right? You can't be right here if we execute it the way we can execute it. So it gets me fired up. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the LA Chargers. I still want to call them San Diego. I grew up in LA, so they were San Diego when I was there. I wanted to show you this because this is who this team wants to be defensively. They want to get 4 guys in the rush, and they want to play more soft zone coverages than you would expect. And so what I mean by that is let's look at the guys on the exterior here. You see how we're backing up? It's like this is like cover 6. So you see this is the quarter side over here, and this is the half side over here. And so what I mean by that is this guy's going to cover this half of the field. This guy's covering this quarter, and this guy's covering the flat here. Do you guys see that? So this is kind of what they want to be. And a lot of teams don't run this anymore. They run more like match coverage where they're playing zone, but it feels like man. They run straight zone. So when you look at this, there's a lot of space here, right? There's like grass. There's grass here. I got to get my little grid here. There's grass in these coverage areas, right? Grass, right? Grass. And it just comes down to can you get there based on the rush. Now, their rush is pretty good. They've got guys, but that can affect the passer, but it's not super dynamic. So if you look at this play, right, Bo Nix gets the ball out. That's a lot of space for this guy to have to make this tackle in a one-on-one situation, right? And so what I will say is check me out. Can I make him miss? Can I go score a touchdown? Possibly, right? And that's where if you can handle their rush, if you can handle this group up front, which again, they're good, not great, there are opportunities because the thing about zone coverage, the longer the quarterback holds the ball, the more zones are stretched, and it puts them in conflict here, right? So you guys see that? So this is to me who they want to be. Base down in distance. They want to play zone. They want to rush 4, and you can take advantage of it if you can pass protect. So just wanted to throw that out there, kind of give you a preview of what I think to expect. Now, I will say this. They're really, really good at it. They're really good at it. They know where the holes are. They know how to defeat it. They're excellent at it. So it's not like, oh, we're just going to pass protect and break them down. They're really good at it. They're well coached. What's up?
So you're saying they run this really well. This is just an example where maybe they got what they wanted and dropping it off to the back and check down.
This is exactly
just a missed tackle. But what I wanted to point out here, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm on a Monday morning quarterback here.
Yep.
If Bo Nix just steps up, it looks like there's not that much pressure. He just steps up, holds onto the ball just a little bit. That's a fine little pocket right there. Mm-hmm. And it looks like what you're saying with stretching the defense. See your guy coming open there at the 10-yard line up at the top of the screen?
Yeah, that's exactly
He's going to come open because of what they're doing. Is that because of what you're doing? Like you have protection long enough, you're stretching those zones. That's going to come open there. And there's another big play right there.
Yeah,
right?
So this is good because like in quarters, which is what this is over here, I think, some type of quarters, he's going to take this guy to the flat, right? So watch as the timing goes on, his eyes are to the flat. We break off, and then we have opportunities here because the timing is broken, right? We've declared different coverages. We've declared to the route concept in a different way as a coverage group. Now, I was just looking at this. I thought this was 2, but this guy's playing this like a carry, so this might just be straight quarters, right? So straight quarters meaning like he's up, they're disguising cover 6, and he's going to go here, he's here, he's here. Because in quarters, if you run 4 verticals, it's going to play like man, which is essentially what you're getting here on verticals, right? See how this guy's attaching to this player, this guy's attached to this player, this guy's taking the vertical, this guy's taking the flat, and this guy on the backside is relating to the 3 receiver set here. Do you guys see that? This is fun. This guy back here is relating to the 3rd receiver, which is the back. Watch him open up, and then I'm going to come back and try to take away this thing here. So this might be quarters, this might be cover 6, and they just how they coach it differently. But my point is, they run a little bit more true zone than I was expecting. And if you do that, if you can pass protect it, you can pick it apart. But you got to be able to pass protect. And I think that's something that's going to be really interesting to watch with Cliff coming into this week. So in addition to kind of playing a lot of zone coverage, they like to run a lot of sim pressures. And so right now, this looks like it's going to be.
Sim pressure means what?
So sim pressure means it looks like we're going to bring 5 or 6, but actually, based on the pattern, we're still bringing 4. So instead of rushing 4 defensive linemen straight up, we're going to rush a linebacker and a nickel and then 2 defensive linemen. So to get to that sim pressure look. So we still get to drop our, 7 guys in coverage and still get to rush 4.
So it looks very quickly, like in a split second, it looks like a blitz is coming.
Yeah, it looks like a blitz is coming, 100%. So like right here, this to me, we've got linebacker, we've got a safety up here, we've got a linebacker right here. It looks like we're going to bring some type of pressure. We've got man-to-man coverage. This to me feels a lot like what we got from Henley in Green Bay. Like this was his 3rd down plan too, right? Something very similar. Show man, and then we're going to drop into this inverted cover 2, right? He's going to drop down. He's going to push here. He's going to push here, flat, and then we get the hook players on the interior, right? So it ends up being Tampa 2. You see how we're dropping out linebackers here. Boom, boom. We simulated the pressure. We're still rushing 4. And what they're trying to do is mess up your pattern, mess up the back, mess up the people that you're trying to target to put the offensive line in stress, and then you can win on one-on-one, right? That's the whole goal. Is like let's say, for example, hypothetically, the offensive line says, or Bo Nix says, okay, shoot, I think these are the known rushers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's slide the protection to the left, right? So slide the protection here. We're going to base, slide. We're going to be picked up. If he did that, this guy on the left, who I think is Derwin James, is going to be free to the quarterback, right? So that's what they're trying to get you to do, is trying to make a protection call that's wrong based on spacing and get a free runner to the quarterback. With 4 rushers, so we can drop 7 into coverage, which here, look at this. We've got a bunch of guys in coverage, 7 in coverage, right? And look at the space we're able to take away. But this goes back to my other point too, is check me out. They play true zone coverages. They play a lot of it, right? Look at the amount of grass here at the second level. This is the problem with zone coverages if you're not really, if you have the right concept called, right? They've got this little pull concept here. Boom, sit. I'm going to run a dig and watch this guy take the cheese. He attaches to this. I vacate my zone, and I create this huge window to throw this football into. And this is what you can get to. If we get it targeted correctly, we pick up the sim pressure, there is space and time to find throwing windows down the field.
It looks like Bo Nix picked up that sim pressure, right? Like he called it.
The offensive line.
Was there anything tipped off as to why they didn't call for a slide left? Like, what did he see here at the line to say this sim pressure is not going to get me? Is that just film work? Is that
so? This is where like having a good protection plan is super important, because this is a 6-man protection for them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So with 6-man, I think what they're doing here is they're going base block. We're going to slide this way. So we're picked up, and then we're going to leave the back on this guy. That's really what the plan is here, right? That's the benefit of having a back in protection. That's why having a running back that can pass protect is so incredibly important. So because the back's in, and because like let's say this is our this would be 3-jet. This is our 3-jet protection. We're going to follow our base rules. Man side over here. Man side, zone side, and then the back's going to be the extra man to that man side. We're picked up. So he doesn't need to do anything here. He has nothing to do. He is 100% right. They got it blocked up. Great job with the call at the line of scrimmage by Sean Payton here to make sure he doesn't have to worry about it. And then all of a sudden we can rock and roll and get a big completion down the field on 3rd down. Boom. Love that. Love to see that. Love to see that. But this is where like everyone talks about 3rd down being money down. This is why it's a money down, right? Because this is the thing we got to prep the most is what's our protection plan? Because really running routes and finding concepts that work is not that hard, right? Ultimately, it's not that hard. And so it's just about, can we protect it? Can we give the quarterback enough time to see it? Because there will be open throws down the field. All right. Now, this was just kind of a fun little tidbit that I saw, right? So they get to the line of scrimmage. You can tell it's on the hurry up. You see guys are all pointing around. You see these guys in the back, how they're kind of pointing to each other. They're trying to get stuff communicated. They did this on the quick, right? The Denver Broncos. They did it on the quick. They snapped it quick. They faked the pitch. And the reason this is important that they did it on the quick is because this is a little bit of an unusual formation. This player right here is the tight end. This is a tight end. These 5 guys and this receiver here are the offensive line. And then these are the other eligible receivers here. Those guys right there. So basically what they're trying to do with this novel formation is figure out who's eligible, who's got to cover who, really, really quickly. We're going to fake the pitch, and then we're going to run 4 verticals. You guys should be familiar with this. We've seen 4 verticals a couple times this year. Loop him out. He's to the flat. It overloads the zone. We get this guy who's not quite locked in on who the correct eligible is. We get this play over the top, and that is about as easy as you can get from an explosive play. Even watch him. As we're running down the field, he's still looking. His eyes are scanning. Wait, who's got who? Where's my guy? Where's my help? Am I here? Am I here? Where's my help? I shouldn't be on this by myself. This guy's attached to this tight end right here. This guy's looking at the tight end. That's good eye discipline right here, but he should probably be bailing out of this. It looks like it's kind of some type of quarters coverage. They beat it over the top. So the reason I bring this up is because Cliff a couple times this year has done something similar where he's gotten kind of a funky formation and they've gone on the quick and it's totally caught the defense with their pants down. So what I would say, if we're looking to find some explosive opportunities as an offense, Sean Payton did a great job here of kind of being tricky. And the other thing too, we're at the 50-yard line. We're going in to score. This is a great time to call an explosive play. Like really, really fun way to get to it. I'm not saying that we're going to run this play specifically, but I think this is a cool little kind of tricky thing an offensive coordinator can do. We got a 1-word play call. Let's get to the line of scrimmage. They don't know what we're doing, and it's our kind of home run shot for the game. And we can see how they're able to kind of maximize this explosive opportunity. What do you think, Jason? Good?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, the thing that I'm thinking about, I don't mean to throw a curveball at you before you move on, is we're going to play the Broncos soon. They come up in, 3 games, Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
Right? So we might see something like this. So let's just say you're DC for the Chargers right now, and you see this formation coming up out of a hurry up. How do you defend this up? What are you telling him to do?
So what I would say is this guy's trying to do it, to his credit. He's trying. This is where the hurry up and why Cliff's offense in general is so difficult to deal with is because he recognizes it. This guy, number 32, sees that it's a weird formation. He's tapping his helmet. He's trying to check to a base call. The problem is you got to get that communicated with all of these guys. You see these guys looking at him. They're like, what? What's going on? What are we doing? And so he's trying to get it worked out. This guy gets the call, right? This guy might get the call. No way in hell this guy heard the call, right? So this is the benefit of going in the hurry up. So what I would say, and this is what most defensive coordinators do, is this is why Bobby Wagner is so valuable in the defense, because he sees this stuff at the drop of a hat and is like, nope, we're in Tampa 2, bail. And he gets it communicated right away because he's smart. He's seen stuff like this before. He knows what home base is for us. But I think this is a perfect example of how does Cliff find explosive play, why Cliff's offense is so dangerous in general, and the conflict that tempo puts on the defense. Because we got to identify eligibles. Who's in, who's not, where we at, and it makes it really, really challenging. So this is one of those things that's like, I want to put into my high school team because it's so incredibly simple. It's just, hey, this is it. We're in a good spot. We like this call. Let's see if they get it right. And obviously they don't get it right, and you're able to find explosive plays. So I'd look for something like this. Cliff does a great job. He did it twice against the Raiders, something similar where it's like you're getting that zone read bone look with Marcus Mariota. He has that 34-yard run. Like it's a fun thing, a fun little wrinkle. You can't do it all the time, but in the right situation, it's perfect.
So you're saying defensively, you don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is why you have a London Fletcher or a Bobby Wagner on your team for situations like this where they immediately are making the right call 1, or getting you in the best.
And I don't know
position.
if you guys remember, but last year Baltimore ran this exact same play on like a Sunday night football game, and they didn't get the coverage check correct either. So yeah, having Bobby Wagner who comes up and says, "Oh shoot, that's an off there. I smell something funny here. Let's get out of this right now. Back off. Let's play this. Let's play to live another day." Like this is a perfect example of why he's on the team. Yes, perfect example of that. All right.
That's why he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, honestly. Probably. All right. So this is another one. What we got here? I'll go. Oh, dude, this is sick offensively. So this is one of the things I think Jim Harbaugh does such a good, and Greg Roman do such a great job of, is I think they're leading the league or second in the league in terms of explosive play opportunities. And they do a really good job of scheming up your coverage in specific moments. So I forget the defensive coordinator's name for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he loves to bring pressure and he loves to play man. And they have different ways of getting to it. So if you watch this, right, they're in man coverage. Boom, 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 boom. This guy's probably going to blitz just based on alignment, okay? But we're going to bring emotion. So instead of me following this player, we're just going to bump our coverage responsibilities because we trust our safeties at a high level, right? So you see, now I am man on the tight end. I'm going to push to the middle of the field and take this player right here, right? Or take number 3, whoever it lines up. So this is another fun thing. So instead of motioning McConkey to right here and keeping the matchup on him very straightforward, we're going to motion him outside of Quentin Johnson, right? And now we've got our number 1 receiver on a safety who's a very good coverage player, but he's still a safety. We got Justin Herbert, who's playing some of the best football in America right now. They get the pressure picked up. Boom. Great job by the back. And all I need to do if I'm Justin Herbert is buy time, wait for Quentin Johnson to push vertical, cross his face, and then put this ball to grass. Easy peasy. And the reason that's so easy is because of their ability to dissect and put stress on coverages, right? So they watched film. They saw this is how they did their man coverage thing. They knew, Herbert knows, they've practiced this look, that the corner is going to stay attached to the tight end, right? In protection, boom. And if we're picked up, we're not hot here, which is a great job in terms of understanding. This is why protection rules in these situations are so, so important. Because you can easily accelerate the quarterback here. He knows there's a pressure coming, right? He knows there's a blitz coming, but he also knows that we're not hot. He knows I have a second to kind of buy time and make this thing go. And again, that's great job in terms of the quarterback understanding. That's a great job by the receiver understanding what I need to do to beat leverage and that there's not going to be another player falling off of here because of how they play their coverage. And really well executed, really well designed. And this is the stuff that the Chargers have been doing through the first couple of weeks of the season. Now, they struggled with this against the New York Giants because the Giants were able to bring pressure at such a high rate and win one-on-ones. So if you can bring pressure heat them up. Again, Herbert's still going to do special stuff, but they can't get to these downfield shots the same way. So that's where I'd say they're banged up on the offensive line. All of these X's and O's, all of this schematic stuff goes out the window if we can't protect up front and win that matchup in the trenches. So something to keep an eye on. They do a great job of finding explosives, scheming explosives, but I think we could win up front with guys like Dorrance Armstrong, Kinlaw, Deron Payne. But keep an eye out for stuff like this. Okay, now let's talk about the run game. They've kind of changed a little bit in terms of their approach, in my opinion, at least for the first couple weeks of the season. So usually, Jim Harbaugh's going to have a tight end here, a fullback there, and we're going to get downhill and try to smash you in the mouth. This is a little bit more exotic. This reminds me a little bit of like Sean McVay. So what we got here is we got 4 down linemen, and we got our nickel personnel. So we got 2 linebackers, and then we got our nickel player right here. So they are playing a box that's appropriate to defend this blocking surface, right? It's a 7-man box versus a 6-man blocking surface. They're plus in the numbers. But this is the thing that Sean McVay has popularized is we're going to jet motion this receiver in. You can see him right here kind of running into the screen late. We're going to jet motion this receiver, who's Trey Harris, the rookie from Ole Miss. He's going to come across, and he is going to lead like a fullback up on this nickel player, which is a matchup we can win. This is just basically power. It's power from the gun. So we're going to double team here. We're going to go back, double team here. We're going to go back to this player. We're going to back block here. We're going to hinge here. We're going to pull around for this guy. We're going to base block this guy, and we're going to lead with our fullback up on this nickel player. So this is something that Sean did, popularized it with Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and watch. We got hats for hats. Good landmarks here by the offensive line. We're going to get a great kick out here. And this is something we got to be aware of. Omarion Hampton has struggled this year because the offensive line has struggled. But dude is 6'2", 225 pounds, and has absolute gasoline in his body. Like he can run. And is big and is strong. So what I would say is when we get these looks, know he's an explosive playmaker. Let's be aggressive with our run fit here. Aggressive. Let's fit this. Let's get downhill at these linebacker spots and make sure that we're not. This is the other thing, too. Everything in a run fit matters, right? Look at this player. Can we squeeze this tight end down? Can we squeeze this? Can we make this? Can we restrict this gap a little bit more? Can we be a little bit more stout on this double team here? I think so. I think all those things are true. And if we restrict this hole, it makes it a little bit easier for this player, who does a great job scraping over the top, to make the tackle. So instead of having to defend, 3 feet, he's defending a foot, and we get a tackle for a 3-yard gain. So that's the kind of stuff we need to see in terms of run fit. What's up?
Who are those players in our defense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think this would be Mikey Sanders still, because I think that's their nickel. This is Bobby Wagner, who is probably going to make this tackle. This is Frankie Louvu, right? This is Dorrance Armstrong, right? Like these are guys that can do this, can win this. And again, like I look at Bobby, like he's going to fit this run much better than this guy. Frankie Louvu is going to absolutely murder this guard. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys are good downhill players. They're going to make this tackle. But I think the thing that I want to see more of is, can we squeeze this? This tight end's a big guy. I think he's like 285 pounds. He's basically an offensive lineman, but he's a tight end. Squeeze this down, restrict this running lane. Let's not let number 8 find explosive opportunities, because this guy in the pass game, Justin Herbert, is going to find those explosive opportunities. So squeeze the run, be physical. I think we got that in our front, but just be aware of it. Offensive line's banged up. I think it's a matchup we can win. So I think that's going to do it for today's film show, man. This was a lot of fun. A lot of good things to take away from the Atlanta game from a run game standpoint. Kind of got to see what the Chargers were from a coverage standpoint, and then kind of how they find their explosive plays and how we can stop their running attack. So always fun breaking this down. If you want to see something for next week, please leave a comment. That's really helpful. But that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks.
This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.